Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my roundup of my 2016 needs and nopes. If you hear some noise in the background, we are having like some kind of like weird monsoon storm that's been going on for several days in this city, and so the wind is like pelting up my window, so sorry if that's a little distracting. A lot of my picks are going to be kind of boring because a lot of them are repeats from last year, so I'm going to kind of like breeze through those ones, but I do just want to touch on them to let you know that they're still my favorite through the whole year, if that counts for anything. I'm going to go in kind of categories with you guys, and then I'll show you if I have any products that I didn't care for in that category. If you guys want further information about the skincare favorites I'm about to show you, please check out the videos I will link below. My AM skincare routine, PM, my acid video oils. That will give you a lot more information than what I'm just going to touch upon here. So let's start with my morning skincare. I hate to mention this because it's nowhere to be found right now. Again, Beauty Counter has bought them, but this is my all-time favorite morning face wash. This is the Nude Perfect Cleanse Omega Jelly, and this will be back, they said, in 2017. So I'm looking out for where Beauty Counter is. They do like in and outs, I think, in Target, and they're sold online. So hopefully sometime soon, because I love this product. I absolutely love this DHC CoQ10 toner. It has antioxidants in here. It has CoQ10. It's very moisturizing. It's in a light resistant container, and this is an excellent toner. I think one of my favorite finds for the year, skincare wise, is this lotion P50 1970. I learned about this from Caroline. She was swearing by it, and I found a bunch of other people that I like in skincare that really liked this too. I bought the small travel size to see how I would like it first. And then I ended up buying this big size when I was halfway through that. And then I just bought the even bigger size because I love it so much I don't ever want to be out. One of you guys have asked me, this did cause my face to be red in the beginning. My skin is adjusted to it now, so I get a little redness in certain areas, but not anymore. This does have phenol in it, which is a numbing agent, so you might feel like a kind of a tingle and then kind of like a numbness. This does smell like chloroseptic throat spray mixed with vinegar. Vinegar is their preservative in here, so no alcohol. This is excellent for dry skin. The main component of this is lactic acid, which you guys know if you watch my skincare videos. For people with dry skin, lactic acid is amazing. It exfoliates the surface, but it also is a natural humectant. It pulls the moisture out of the air and into your skin. It just leaves my skin, I don't have the dry patches I used to have, and my skin looks plump. So I love this stuff. I buy mine from a website called Rescue Spa. They're actually out of Philadelphia, but if you guys can find a spa near you that carries it, you guys can go in and buy it. There are many formulas of this. I will link Caroline's blog below. Read up on them, and I would recommend calling the spa, getting a phone consultation, and they will send you out. The phone consultation doesn't cost you anything, but let them know your skin type, and they will recommend which one for you. This is the strongest at-home acid that I have ever used, and I adore this stuff. Next is this Drunk Elephant Seafoam a Day Serum. I love this. This is the best vitamin C that I have ever used. I do know that it is pricey, but I can tell you guys, each one of these bottles lasts me 6 months. I buy 2 normally during the November 20% off VIB sale, and it lasts me for the whole year until the next sale, and then I have to buy it again. I like it because it's in an airtight pump, opaque, so it's light resistant because vitamin C is highly unstable. Don't bother buying any in a dropper. They won't last. And you guys have asked me, like, you thought maybe this had turned because it was orange, because I've mentioned before. If your product is clear to start with and then it turns orange for vitamin C, it's turned. This has a natural yellow tint to it because of an anti-irritant that's in here. I will list it below if you want to read up further on it, that has a natural amberish color. So this has not gone bad. It's just the color it has naturally. Definitely brings some brightness to my skin. It stimulates collagen. Again, watch my AM skincare routine if you want to know. If this is too expensive for you, I would try the Ordinary C suspension. I have heard some people say that it's best to use at night. Since it is a suspension, it's not mixed with water, so it does have a gritty texture to it because the powder, the vitamin C powder, has not absorbed in there, so it can feel a little gritty. I would try that at night if it doesn't work for you during the day, but I think that's only like $5. Otherwise, I have not found a good vitamin C serum besides this one. This is the best. Next, I really like this Drunk Elephant, this Bee Hydra Intensive Gel. I layer this over top of the vitamin C serum. This is a light moisturizer. It's kind of like a splash of hydration and it is a little sticky. I don't think I would like this to put this on and then go to bed, but I love this for underneath my makeup. Again, it's not too thick, so it's not going to leave my makeup kind of like sliding all over, but I find these two team up really nicely. I think that would be excellent for people with oily skin too, maybe to use it on their own. For someone who's dry like me, that's not enough to use before I go to bed, but it's perfect to lay underneath my makeup. Next is my Vintner's Daughter. I am so close to being out of this. Like, I don't have any left on this, so I have to get a new bottle of this. I adore this serum. It is very pricey. It is not a necessity if you guys, I mean, you don't have to have this by any stretch of the imagination. I love this serum because it's a serum and a face oil for me, and this lays perfectly. I use it every day under my makeup, and I think it helps give my skin a nice glow to it. It'd be this Dr. Jart Ceramidin cream. I love this stuff, and I've been reading reviews online, and apparently this really works well for oily skin people too, which I was thinking it'd be too much because it's so moisturizing. I use this all over my face. I never wake up with blemishes. It's fragrance free. It has a nice natural scent to it, which I like. The liquid's meant to be layered underneath this. Again, just watch my skincare videos and I'll talk about this, but I love this. This has really saved my skin when we were traveling and all the forced heat, because we don't really use heat in San Francisco. I mean, rare is the occasion. I use this when we're traveling, like when we go up to Tahoe and the hotels have like tons of heat because it's freezing up there. I slather my face in this, and same thing when I go snowboarding so I don't get windburn. I love this stuff. These are my 3 favorite sunscreens. This is the Dr. Dennis Gross Sheer Mineral Sun Spray SPF 50. This one is the Josie Maran Argan Daily Moisturizing with SPF 47. And then this one is the Obagi Sun Shield Matte. If I had to pick one of them, I would pick this. I think this is the best sunscreen I've ever used. This is a physical sunblock. I don't care for chemical sunscreens on my face. The difference is a physical sunblock is actually going to like take the rays, you could think of it like, and kind of reflect them back, which this will give you flashback. Chemical sunscreen is going to absorb those UVA and UVB rays and kind of turn them into something else. You could think of it like that. That's supposed to be not harmful for your skin. For those of you with sensitive skin, chemical sunblocks may cause issue because the way they have to work is your skin has to absorb them. This kind of creates a barrier and lays on the top of your skin. The Josie Maran one is really nice for dry skin because it's a moisturizer and an SPF, which is really nice. And this one is like easy to retouch. I love these, again, in my skincare videos. I love these mini washcloths. They are made by the Rag Company. Tara Babies, who I love here on YouTube, commented on my skincare video, my last one, and she let me know that she contacted them directly, and I think she had to buy in a larger bulk, but I bought like 8 packs of these, so it would have been much more cost effective to go direct because I was getting these on Amazon. So I will link that information that she told me, so thank you, Tara, below, so you guys can check that out if you want to buy a few. Again, I talk about these in my skincare video. These are just the perfect size. Like if you look at my hand, they're the perfect size just to fold over, use for my first cleanse and to take off my makeup at night. I have more skincare that I'll come back to at the end of the video because I'm going to do in steps. So that was my morning. Now let's go on to my base. If you guys have been watching me for any length of time, you guys know that I used to use like 27 primers on my face. Because my skin was so dry, it was such a challenge to keep my foundation from peeling around my nose and on the corners of my chin. I can't even remember the last time that I've had that issue just because my skin has gotten in a really good place. The only primer I use anymore is this Tarte. This is a Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer, which is a mouthful. This lasts me a really long time. I think I only buy like one every 6 months, maybe one a year. I love this little spatula I got from Amazon. I will link below. They're really cost effective. I just use a little on the side of here, and I only use this wiping down motions right here on the sides where I have slightly larger pores, and then I go over my piercing scars to help kind of aid in filling in those holes. Don't rub in circles or this will pill up, but this is my favorite kind of pore filling primer that I've ever used. Now let's talk about base. So my all-time favorite drugstore foundation is this L'Oreal True Match Lumi. I think this shares about 80%. I'd have to go back through it, but about 80% of their formula is the same as the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, and they're both made by L'Oreal. So I mean, this one, what is this, like $11 or $13, and the other one's like $50 or something. It's an excellent foundation. I do really like it. It comes in a lot of colors. They have the N series, which is neutral. They have the C for cool, for those of you with pink undertones, and then it has the warm for those of you that have yellow undertones. Another one that I actually tried that I really like is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. Again, I do like dewy foundations, so this works perfect for me. Now, for one I didn't like from the drugstore, which is no fault of this foundation's, it's my skin type, is the Infallible Pro Matte. So I've heard people say that they mix some of the Pro Glow in with the Pro Matte, but since my skin is dry, the last thing I ever want to be is matte. I don't like matte finishes just because I want my skin to be kind of like radiant and dewy. So I've heard great reviews for this, but I would think if you have dry skin, this is probably gonna like cling to those dry patches. It almost makes my face feel like it's gonna crack. Too much for me. My favorite BB cream is the It Cosmetics CC Your Skin But Better. They really could use to expand their shade offerings for darker and lighter. This is light. I have the fair too. These are very kind of yellow based. I actually find the light to be the most neutral one they have. This does have a lemon scent to it. It doesn't last a super long time on me. It starts breaking up at about the 4-hour mark, but this is perfect for me for running errands, or if I'm going out to the park. It has SPF 50 in it. I really enjoy this. Lighter foundations, MAC Face and Body is always one of my favorites. I'm in the shade N2. This is a nice light water-based foundation. It looks very natural on the skin. It photographs beautifully. It doesn't look cakey or too heavy. This one I love. My favorite spray foundation is the Dior Air Flash. I'm in the shade 200. I believe these 00s are their neutral shades. If you're uncomfortable with the price tag on this Sephora brand is very similar. I did a review where I did half my face and half my face, and I did check-ins. I'll link that video below. I love both of these. Again, they could use some larger range in their color selection, but these are excellent. I spray this on a brush and put it on like that. It's really light. It doesn't look cakey. It's beautiful. My favorite luminous foundation, hands down, is the Natasha Denona Glow Foundation. I am in shade 40 is the closest because this is like one of their only neutral ones, and I mix a little bit of 10. 10 is super light. So mixing these two gets me my perfect shade because this is a touch too dark. There is a learning curve with this. I pump out a small amount on my paw palette. I take a foundation brush and I lightly paint it over my face, and then I go in with my beauty blender and I blend it out. If I go in like I normally would with like picking it up with the beauty blender and putting it on, I would hate it because it looks oily, kind of like a gel. This does give the most beautiful, luminous, skin-like finish. You just have to go on with a little bit. If you're oily, stay away. Even though they have a mattifying primer, I don't care what they say. I feel like that will not work well. Next is this Hourglass Vanish Stick. They did send this to me, but I really do like this foundation. If you have dry patches, stay away from this. I think this is really only good for people that have normal skin. I could see it kind of being a mess on oily skin. And for sure, like I've mentioned, when I was traveling to Las Vegas, I brought this with me because I love the way it looks in San Francisco where the climate's very mild. When I was in Vegas with all the forced air, I did get some more dry patches on my skin. And when I put this on, I went into Neiman Marcus to actually be matched for some of the other products I'm going to talk about in a minute. And the lady was like, "What lotion are you using? Your face is dry." I'm like, son of a, it was this. So when I'm in San Francisco, I love this. When I'm in anywhere that my skin is acting up because it's really dry, this looks like crap on me. This is the most high coverage foundation I wear. I just use a few little strokes of it and blend it out. It's beautiful. The most matte foundation that I will ever wear and that I like is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. I did care for the first HD better, I think, than this one, but I personally like for my skin to look glowy. Some people can't stand that and they want a matte finish. I hate matte finishes. This one is kind of like a demi matte. It photographs really beautifully. I love this foundation. So these are two fairly costly foundations I bought when I was in Neiman Marcus. I got this Clé de Peau. This is their Silky Cream foundation. I'm in the shade 20. And then I also have the Chantecaille Alabaster. This is their Future Skin Foundation. I really do like this one. The price tag is hefty, but if you want to kind of like treat yourself, is this a necessity? No, but I really do like this foundation and I will repurchase this one. It's what I'm wearing today. I think it makes all my makeup on top lay really nice, and it still has some luminosity without being as luminous as the Natasha Denona one. Like when I wear that one, my forehead is a lot more luminous, my cheeks, my chin, everything like that. Now into some foundations that I didn't care for. I got this Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation, and to me, I know it's supposed to have like good skincare ingredients for you. Again, when you put anything in a pot, anything that's in there that's of any benefit won't last very long. And I feel like this basically is just like a lotion. I don't even really see any tint to it, so it's kind of like weird. It's an oil-free gel foundation made in Japan. I don't know, for the price tag, I just did not like this. I know it has like a cult following and some people really like this, but This foundation I despised. This is the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. I like it how you're kind of supposed to kind of like turn it and this little dropper comes up, but I'll tell you, this was like gritty, and I don't know. I was expecting it to be super luminous and that I would love it, but it just, the color is really weird. This is fair and it's pretty dark for me. I don't know. I just didn't like this foundation. Now this next one I didn't like because it's not meant for my skin type, which I should have known that, but some of you guys asked me to review it, so I picked it up without really like reading the details like I should have. This is the ABH. These are their foundation sticks. I got it in the color beige, which is one of their neutral ones. This is meant for oily skin. I have dry skin. This is not meant for me, and they weren't kidding because it didn't work for me. I think it's awesome that they made so many shades to select from. I've tried this with an oil underneath. I've tried this with a brush. I've tried it with my beauty blender. It goes on and it looks really kind of like, it looks a lot like skin, but trying to blend it out, I'm like really tugging on my skin and it just doesn't work well for me. Favorite powder foundation is the IT Cosmetics Celebration Illumination Foundation. I use this every single day on my nose because I find liquid foundations always wear off of my nose where powder kind of stays. So, and out of all the brushes and everything that I have to put my foundation on, I always prefer to blend it out with a beauty blender. I have the Real Techniques sponge and a few others. If you guys are on a budget, the Real Techniques ones definitely work, but there's something more about the bounce of this sponge that I just prefer. Now let's talk about concealers. Okay, so I have 3 that I love for every day. This IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eyes is in neutral medium, which I think they said like 70% of the population is. This is amazing just a little bit if you have dark circles underneath your eyes. Like if I'm doing a natural makeup or like a minimum makeup, I will just take this and kind of put it underneath my under eyes and call it a day. It's very thick. If you go in with too much, it will crease. I find the best way to put this on is with your finger because the heat of your finger, your body, helps kind of melt it into the skin. When I go on with a brush, it's a bit too thick. Next one is this by Terry Densalis Concealer. This is in the One Fresh Fair, which is as light as it goes, which is not light enough for me to highlight with because it's pretty much my skin tone. This is a very light concealer. It has a little flexible tip on here. It's almost like a water base. Like if you guys are familiar, serum concealer. If you guys ever tried that Bare Skin by Bare Minerals, the consistency is very similar, but this literally leaves like no trace. So I can use this, again, for dark circles or something to put underneath my eyes and you can't tell that I have it on. So if you want to splurge, this is a nice concealer. Don't expect a crap ton of coverage from it. For drugstore options, I love that eraser concealer. I will show a picture of it here. I actually just ran out of that one, so I don't have it anymore, but I'll show the picture of it here. That is my favorite drugstore concealer that I have used. Then this is the Clé de Peau. This is a stick concealer. They don't make them light enough for me either. This is in the color beige, and this is amazing. Just roll up a little. The best way, again, to put it on is either with the Kat Von D brush. I'll show you in a little bit, but I like to just swirl my finger in it, and same thing. This will color correct. This looks beautiful underneath the eyes. I do find it to be too heavy though, if you were to draw on it. My 2 favorite concealers this year to highlight with I used to love the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Custard to color correct, but now that I'm so fair, like I'm never ever in the sun, it wasn't doing its job to like highlight because it was actually darker than my skin tone. So I picked up this Chantilly, and I love this. It's moisturizing. It is exactly radiant like it says. I actually really like this too because this almost has like a touch of gray to it that looks more skin-like than something that's super pink or super yellow for me anyway. So I've been using this a ton to highlight with, and I really like this. And then the next concealer that is on everybody's favorite list, it seems like, is this Tarte Shape Tape. I do like this concealer. A lot of people praise this applicator and they love it, and I actually, that's the thing I like the least about it. It is nice that it covers more space, but I find myself every time when I take this off having to sit here and scrape off this applicator because this is high coverage. If you go on with too much, it looks like crap and it'll kind of crack. So I have it in the color Fair Neutral and Fair, the two lightest colors. It's funny because some people think like, oh, that's going to be too light for you. Again, I think because with my white desk behind me, that my white balance sometimes makes me look a little tanner than I am, but this is actually the perfect color to highlight for me. Now on to bronzer. I don't bronze that much because I am so fair. I've gone back to just putting a little bit right here on my cheekbones because if I go on the whole border of my face and everything, it does tend to look dirty on me no matter what bronzer I use. My all-time favorite will always be the Soleil Tan de Chanel. I even love the smell of this. This stuff lasts forever. Like I have a dent in the top. I just swirl a fluffy brush in here and I bring it up on the tops of my cheekbones. Chanel really needs to step up their game and offer more shades because this is the only one they have. And if you have pigment in your skin, this likely won't work for you. But for those that are anywhere from fair to kind of medium, light medium, this will be great for you. And the powder one I love, this is the same from last year, is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer. This one is in Luminous Bronze, which is the lighter of the two ones they have. Remember, you have to swirl your brush in here and put it on. This is the most natural one that I own. My favorite cream contour will always be OCC John Doe. This is their cream color concentrate. This can be sold out on so many places and difficult to find. When you can find it, I'd scoop it up. I bought two of these, and one I had last me for like a year, and then this one I've just recently opened up. I just use it on a thin little angled brush, draw a line and flick it up. I feel like for those that are fair to light, this will be your perfect contour color. They do have one called Trick 2 that's more warm that will likely work for those that are more medium skin and warm undertones. I love this product. It's really creamy. It glides on. It's not a lot of tugging or dryness to put it on. Anybody that's overseas or has easy access to Illamasqua, this is their cream pigment in Hollow. This is very similar to the same undertones and color as this OCC. The difference is this is a lot more dry than this, where this one is like easy to draw this on. This one I do have to put a little more pressure in, but this one will actually stay longer. So if you have oily skin and you're fair, this would be the best. I sometimes drop a little bit of a facial oil in there to kind of go on with that. I do really like this stuff. Now for powders to set my contour, this Kevyn Aucoin, I always had the one in medium, but I recently got this one in light, and light works better for me. The medium is beautiful for anybody that is light to medium, but I would say the light one is best, and they also make a dark one too. These are some of the best contour powders that I have found. That's $44 for that one. But for this book, I think this book is like $50. I'll have to list below. But you get the cream, you get the powder, and you get highlight and powder, and then you get some eyeshadows. And this Starlight is actually used as a highlight as well. They have it in a big shade. But this book is an awesome value, and it also gives you some steps on the front of how to do it, like what to aim for. This is the volume 2 contour book by them. It's an excellent value, so I really do like that as well. This is the new Shade and Light by Kat Von D. I love the new graphics on there. They did send this to me, the team. I have the original one in my drawer there. These are the ones that are removable that you can refill. I do love the consistency of these powders. For me, these first two are the only ones I can use because these are too dark for me. So I don't think contour kits are necessary for the average consumer. Unless you're a makeup artist and you're working on multiple different skin tones that you would need a ton of colors. But I think for most people, first of all, I always think people should be staying out of the sun, so you should be the same color year round. But if you do like to go to have like a winter skin and more like a summer skin, maybe fake tan, I mean, maybe you could use 4 of these colors, but I think there'll always be some that's not getting used. These ones, since they are refillable, you can pop them out and just put like a whole mess of them in here if you want. So I think maybe there would always be at least 2 that you wouldn't use, but I do love the formulation of these, and they now offer these individually. This one is Subconscious that I really like, and this Levitation. I would just recommend buying, if you even want the highlight, buy like 1 contour and highlight that matches your skin tone and kind of forego the palette. A bunch of you guys asked me to review this Lunatic Lab. This is their contour book. I believe this is $70 or $80. It was a lot of money, and you do get a ton of shades. The powders are milled beautifully. These perform beautifully on the skin. I find these gray colors to pull way too gray. And while you should have a shadow, I think that if for the most people, if you go on too heavy with this, it's going to make you look sickly. So I try to take some of this gray tone and mix it with this more brown colored one. You do get some blushes in the middle here. So if these colors work for you, this white is extremely white for highlighting. If these colors work for you, I think this could be excellent. So this is kind of the cool shades, and these are more of the warm, and then you have the blushes in the middle. So if you guys were interested in it and you wanted to spend all the money on this, these are well made, and I am happy to have the colors. I wouldn't repurchase the whole book unless they sold the shades individually, because I don't need all of these. One of my favorite and more affordable contour colors is this Inglot 504. It's this one right here. It's a beautiful taupe color. I can contour and highlight with this palette for anybody that's like medium and lighter. Powders are excellent, and you get a lot of bang for your buck because they're large. My favorite drugstore contour would be the Taupe Blush by NYX. That is excellent, and it works for girls that are light and fair as well. Blush products, my favorite drugstore blush are these NYX. I really like these. This one is in the shade Amber. They're just beautiful on the skin. They're not too shimmery, which I like. My all-time favorite blush, you guys know I've talked about this a bajillion times, is this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush, and this is in Mood Exposure. It looks so butt ugly on the pan when you swirl your brush in and put it on, though. It's stunning. I really like this. I have a full video on those if you guys are interested. And the next blushes I found this year that I love are the Natasha Denona blushes. They're duos. I am guilty of always wanting to wear too much blush. Because I am so light, I think that the blush like adds life to my face, so I'm like, I found that I gravitate towards plums, but given again how light I am, I need to make sure it's a light plum or I look like I have a bruise on my face. So I've been going more towards like peachy colors too, and even though this one looks so light, this is actually what I have on my cheeks today, and one of the other duos I'll show you because I actually own this shade 3 times. This one is number 14. This one is number 1. Again, you get that same coral color and a lighter pink. And then this is the one, the side that I'm actually wearing today. This is my favorite of them. This is number 10, where you're getting the Toto and then the sheer peachy nude. This one is a little darker that I take up on the back, and this has some luminosity to it. I just love these blushes. They're very pigmented, so go in with a light hand. Other blushes I really like are the Becca blushes. I have all the mineral blushes, and then this little blush kit. Beautylish sent this to me, but I think it's a great value because you get 3 of them in there. You have one that has some sheen to it, and then 2 others. I own Songbird. I didn't have Wisteria, I don't believe, and Snapdragon was one of their new luminous ones. Now let's talk about highlighters. My favorite highlighter of this year, hands down, is out of this ABH Gleam Kit. This color Starburst right here, I'm wearing this today. I wear this very often. These have been discontinued, so I hate to even talk about this, but this formula is amazing. This is different than their glow kit that has like the 6 shades in there. Those, when I swatched those in store, they felt kind of glittery, so I passed on those, and they were very warm, and I prefer cool highlights, neutral to cool, so I skipped on that one. But if you guys can find any of those, I would definitely get that. And this, I believe the Sweets kit is permanent. These have a beautiful sheen to them where it looks wet instead of kind of like powdery highlight, if that makes sense. I mean, these are just, they're really pretty. And they give a nice sheen without looking too pigmented. Another highlight I tried this year that I fell in love with was this Makeup Forever. This is their Pro Light Fusion. Now, I always passed when they had the duo with the bronzer because I very rarely bronze, and that bronzer looked way too orange for my fair skin. I love this 01. This is a pink highlight, a pink golden-y highlight. I don't know if you can see that. This one is very nice. It's similar to the Starburst, but I have learned this year that I prefer light pink highlights on my skin tone. Laura Mercier Devotion. This is a different formula for me because I typically prefer to use my Wayne Goss fan brush, but this is a stiffer highlight and you need to kind of go in with a thicker brush. See that? Oh, it's beautiful. It's that nice wet looking sheen on here. They have these in a variety of colors too, but again, I go towards the pink. Two that I tried from Makeup Geek. Makeup Geek, these highlighters are kind of kick-ass. So I got Lit. That is this. It looks like it would be too warm for me, but I found from this Makeup Forever Star Powder I'm about to show you, I kind of like highlighters that have an orangey shift to them. I don't know if you can tell this here. This is one of their duochromes, so I only got one of each because I've kind of learned my lesson. Go insane first launch on a product to make sure I like something before I collect them all. And then this one is Luster, which I thought would be too dark, but when I was watching Marlena's swatch video, this reminded me a lot of Starburst. So if you can see that one there, compared to what I'm wearing, it's very similar. I love these with a fan brush. This is Thunderstruck by Kat Von D, and I love this as a highlighter. This is probably the only kind of like pearly gold one I like that has a little bit of yellow undertone to it, but this is stunning on, and I love the eyeshadows in general. I have almost all of them, and I really like them. And then this is the Makeup Forever Star Powder in 940. This has a beautiful orange shift, and I use this for multiple things. I highlight the inside corners of my eyes with this. I highlight my cheekbones with this. It kind of has that same duochrome shift that I was telling you the Lit by Makeup Geek have, and even that Thunderstruck. This is beautiful. I like all of their more like white base star powders that have a color shift to them. My favorite drugstore highlighter is this Translucent Pearl by Physicians Formula. Let's talk about some highlighter fails for me. I always heard everybody talk about the Laura Geller Gilded Honey, but again, that's too warm and dark for my skin tone, so I picked up the Charming Pink one. I don't like this. I don't find like I get anything, even like swirling my finger will look amazing. But when I try to put this on with a brush, it just doesn't give me anything. I don't know, so I just didn't care for that. Next is this Milk holographic stick. It's called Supernova. I saw everybody kind of review this, and so I picked it up because I was curious, because I kind of do like those duochrome shifts. It looks beautiful on your finger, but in order to make this work, you have to put it on top of your foundation. If you try to put it underneath and put foundation on top, you can't see it. So I tried, like if you go right on with the stick, it'll disturb your foundation and move it around. And even when you kind of like pat it on with your finger, it just kind of makes everything look patchy underneath. So I didn't care for this. Next are two things I was sent. I don't mean to sound ungrateful because I'm very grateful. And I've seen this in a lot of people's favorites. So Beautylish sent me this. This is the By Terry Sun Designer palette. This is the 2 light and tan vibes. The product in here is nice. My issue with it is this weird packaging. So if you were to try to take a brush and pick this up, it picks up like numerous colors. It's kind of all over the place. So the only way to get your product in here with these zigzags is to go in with a really small, I don't know, I just don't like it. So the blush you'd kind of have to kind of mix together, the bronzer, I don't know, I just didn't care for the packaging of this, which is sad because that highlighter on is really pretty and the blush is too, but again, I just don't like the packaging of this. This was sent to me by Beautylish as well. This is another Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Instant Look 5-minute face on the go. I think they are coming out with a new one. This was the first one. So the Eye Enhance is a beautiful, it would be a really pretty highlighter. If you can see there, more of like a naturally highlighter. This bronzer doesn't show up on me. The blushes really don't show up on me. This face highlight doesn't show up at all. It's that other one. I don't know. And for the cost, I think, you know, Charlotte Tilbury, it's more of like professional makeup. I think this is meant for people that just want to keep this in their bag and do something really simple and go, where I prefer more kind of like draggy makeup, like more intense eyes and things. So this just was a fail for me. If you guys watched my video last year, you guys know that the Old La Mer powder was my favorite powder because it didn't dry me out, because again, I have dry skin, so I use powder very sparingly. They re-released it and reformulated it. I haven't tried it yet, so I need to, so I'm not going to include that one in here. But this By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra powder is really nice. It doesn't look powdery on the skin. It's perfect for setting my under eyes without them looking dry. This is supposed to be more of like a hydrating powder, which is kind of an oxymoron to me. And then these Kat Von D Lock-It brightening powders. This one is in the shade Petal. Kat Von D's team did send me the shades in here, but this one is meant for fair to light skin tones, and this really does brighten. This is more so on the dry side than this though. So if you have severely dry under eyes, I don't think this would be the powder for you. Make sure that you hydrate underneath your eyes before you do use this. But there are 3 shades in this, and I think that they really do brighten up your under eye and set the concealer. So you're supposed to use a little bit of concealer, then go on really lightly with that powder, and I have it on today. I think it gives a nice brightening effect. Let's talk about eyebrows now. So my favorite drugstore eyebrow powder is the NYX Eyebrow Cake Powder. If you've seen, I've hit pan on this. You get a lighter color, a darker color, and a pomade, like a wax, and you get little brushes. I don't care for the brushes, but the powders are good. And if you want more of one from like Sephora Ulta, I really like the ABH, just the brow power duos. This is in taupe. I mixed Anastasia's brow pomade in taupe with the medium brown, because the medium brown is neutral, and I made my own little powder color. I love this because I know when I put this on that my eyebrows aren't going anywhere. Again, I do have Permanent Cosmetics. I recently got it touched up on Thursday, so they're a little dark right now still, but I go over the areas that aren't perfectly like filled in, and these will last all day. And then I really enjoy her Brow Wiz. I have heard, I think it's is it L'Oreal or is it NYX? I can't remember, but I've heard there's a dupe for this from the drugstore. I'll list it below. I'll do a search on it and find it. But I just love this tiny little pencil. This probably looks the most natural when I just go on and fill them on, and powder can as well. But the Dip Brow is more like, you definitely know you have something on your eyebrows, and this is more natural. Let's talk about liners. As always, Kat Von D Tattoo Liner is my all-time favorite liquid liner. This as a hair tip instead of felt. It doesn't get squigglies. I leave it always in a cup face down so the liquid stays on the tip so it doesn't dry out. I love this liquid liner. These Suva Beauty, these are their Hydra liners, which this is a solid. And what I do is I take some Fix Plus and I'll spray it in there, which makes it liquid, and then I'll go on and draw it on. And I thought that they would look kind of dry and cracked, but these are actually stunning. This one is in their fanny pack, which is a bright green. I need to try some more of the colors, but this one I would highly recommend. It's UV, which means it'll glow under like a black light. Like tight lining my eyes, nothing has ever compared to the Makeup Geek Immortal Gel Liner in my Japanese silicone tip brush. I've been using these same products for a long time now. I just swirl it in there, go up, it doesn't budge, it doesn't transfer all down to my eyes. I really like it. And the next, this is the Natasha Denona Black is Black Star Liners. Now, there are 2 products in here. One is a liner, and then one is a glitter to go over it. I don't care for the brushes that come in here. So you would shake this up, and it actually reminds me of kind of like a fountain pen that you dip into. I don't use the brush in here because I can't stand it. But I'll show you my favorite eyeliner brush. This is one of my Hakuhodo brushes that I will talk about in a little bit, but this has a really thin precision tip liner on there. And what I like to do is I just take some of this and I can draw the most thin, precise lines with this. I don't know if you guys can tell. And once it's black, it's black, black, black. And once it dries, it does not budge. You need to give it a little time to dry. but I've been loving this to do winged liner with these two. Again, I don't use the brush, and you can go over top with glitter. They have it in a few different shades, but I was actually pleasantly surprised by those. I didn't think I would like them. Natasha and her team did send that to me. Now let's talk about eye primers. So I have circled back to Urban Decay's, and I love these. These have recently been reformulated. And these are their just eyeshadow primer potions. So I use this Eden one, which is more of a yellow base, but my favorite is this Enigma, which is more of a pink base, if you look at them side by side. I'm wearing them and I blend them out. So like I'll draw them on with this, the applicator, and then I go on with my beauty blender, and my eyeshadows just like glide right over them, where the other one could be a little oily and kind of skip. Enigma you have to buy off the Urban Decay site. It's not available anywhere else, and all the money from this goes to a charity, which I will link that information below if you care to read up on it, which I think is awesome of them. An eyeshadow primer fail for me, I know I'm going to be in the minority here, are the MAC paint pots. I recently went out and bought myself a new painterly because I was thinking my other one was maybe just really dry and I wasn't liking it, because I was noticing my eyeshadows were always skipping on this inside corner where, again, with my nails, I couldn't really get in. I think if you use your finger with these, you would really like them because, again, the heat from your body will help make them creamy. But for me, with my nails, I use brushes and things, and it just doesn't work really well for me. My favorite for glitter is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Glitter Glue. This stuff is a necessity for me with pigments or with glitter. Let's talk about mascara loves. I always love the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill, but I haven't picked that one up. This is the Chanel Volume de Chanel, just in the 01 black. I love this mascara, which in all honesty, it's foolish for me to spend any kind of money on mascara because I wear false lashes almost every single day, but I still like this mascara. I like it better like a couple days after you open it because it almost seems like it might dry a little, which I like a more dry mascara formula. I always love my MAC Giga Black for my bottom lashes, just because this brush is super tiny and I can get in there and really work it through. I find large batch mascara from drugstores actually some of the best, and my favorite one from the drugstore is this L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara. I really like this because I like the brush on here, because my eyes are small, so I can really get in there and detail with them. Those large fluffy brushes I don't like. And now a mascara fail for me. Natasha sent this to me, so I'm sorry to sound ungrateful, but this is such a large brush. Like, do you see the end of this? It tapers outwards, which I think might be good for a makeup artist applying that to somebody else, but for me, this just gets all over my face, and my lashes are too small to fit through this brush. Can you see that? So I didn't care for that. Let's talk about my favorite pigments. I love Sugar Pills Loose Pigments. This one is in Penelope, which is stunning. I like all of their pigments, but especially these. I think you guys have seen me use these before in looks. Sorry, I'm not swatching every single thing. The video will be like 9 hours long. If you guys have a question about any certain product you want me to see swatched, leave it in the comment section below, and I will swatch it on my Instagram. I love this OCC. This is their Pure Pigment in Rust. This is one of my favorite pigments. You guys know I love these kind of colors. I draw this on with a pencil brush and then I go out and smoke this out more, and it's just stunning, super pigmented. And Inglot pigments. I love Inglot pigments. If you have a question about how any of these look, I have a whole review video with them all swatched. I will link below. Now let's talk about glitter. So I love this Urban Decay Midnight Cowboy, this gold glitter. It's has this tiny little brush, but it's really great for highlighting the inner corner or kind of covering all over your lid. I like this. I love the OCC glitters. This one is in Mirror Ball, and this one is in Beige, which I've worn this in a few makeup tutorials. I love this color. And then this is the Body Sparkles in Silver 66 by Inglot. Again, it's swatched in that video. You get a tiny little pot of this, but this is beautiful if you were to do like a glitter cut crease with this. Next, let's talk about lip liners. My two favorite from the drugstore are the Jordana ones, and then also the Rimmel, specifically the Rimmel in 45 Epic. I love this color, although I don't feel like they last very long. Like, there's not a ton of product in there. My three high-end favorites are the NARS El Agua. I often fill this all over my lips and then just put a gloss on top for work. This Makeup Forever, this is my brand new one I need to open. This 3C, which is really close to the color of my own natural lip color. And then the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk. Again, this is close to my own natural lip color. I like to kind of put these on, fill them in, and then put a gloss over for work. My favorite liner for my waterline is the MAC Costa Riche. I'm wearing it today. It's a beautiful warm brown that's not too harsh, so it's not as harsh as like black. My two favorite eyelash glues, I work for Duo, which is part of Ardell, so obviously I might be a little biased in that. If you're sensitive to latex, we have the green one and a brush-on tube that is latex-free and vitamin-enriched, so it shouldn't irritate your eyes. I actually really like the Duo Dark. Some of you guys have asked me, this does contain formaldehyde, which is our preservative in there. It's the last ingredient, and it kills bacteria. That's what formaldehyde does. I know a lot of people think of like embalming in death, and formaldehyde can be dangerous if you're breathing it in internally, but for the amount that's in here, it's not an issue. If that bothers you, the Huda one does not have formaldehyde in it. It has a different preservative, which again, if you look up the nature of any preservative, it'll scare the crap out of you, so it's probably best not to do that unless you don't want to be using anything on yourself anymore. Huda did send this to me. This is the dark tone one, and this is dark. I've been using this almost every day that I use eyelashes. I find that it sticks and it holds. Well, this one will dry a little bit gray, like it's dark, but it's still like lighter. This one dries jet black. My favorite eyelashes, obviously I work for Ardell like I've talked about. I love the wispies and the demi wispies if I want like a really kind of natural look for me anyway, because I'm used to wearing super long intense eyelashes. I love the House of Lashes Siren, and I love their Temptress as well, but I like these more wispy where it's like long, short, long, short. It gives you more of like a doll shaped eye. The ones I'm wearing now, I love. They're just like the iconic lashes by House of Lashes, except a lot less expensive. They're the ones I'm wearing now. These are called Goddess. I love these lashes. And then my other favorite from Coco is the Soho lashes. These are drag queen long. Like, these will touch my eyebrows. I love it like that, though. If you're not used to them, they'll probably be too long for you. Now let's talk about lipsticks. So these are my two favorite matte lipsticks in a tube. The Tom Ford matte formula and then the Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips. They have to be the mattes. I don't care for their creamy ones, not for this cost anyway. I have a full swatch and review of those. I will link below. This is my favorite color, which is Tell Laura. And my favorite one by Tom Ford is Flame, which is that orangish red color. I love these. Charlotte actually used to work for Tom Ford for the makeup part of it, so these are very similar to me, and this is literally like half the cost of this one. I really like these Amuse Bouche Bite lipsticks. This is in the color Gazpacho, which I love bright oranges and reds. I like brighter colors in general. Now here are my favorite liquid lipsticks. I work for Milani and /Jordana. If you want a drugstore option, I'm not going to review anything that I work with because I feel like it would be a conflict of interest. If I have anything bad to say about something, I could lose my job, and if I'm just singing its praises, I'll feel kind of like I could be blowing smoke up your butt. So I'm not going to review these, but I've heard so many good things from you guys. I know that I've worn them. These are the Milani Amore matte lip creams. This is the metallic one, which in the color The Ultimate, which I think is a stunning one. So I think that these are some of the best drugstore options for liquid lipsticks. The color I'm wearing today is Sugar Pill's Pumpkin Spice, which Sugar Pill makes an excellent liquid lipstick. I reviewed their Trinket, which I loved, and the packaging of this one has changed. I think the new one is this now. And a lot of you guys will ask me, like, oh my God, people are knocking off, you know, certain other brands of liquid lipsticks. And I just want to show you guys, there are not that many packaging companies in the industry that people will use for certain things. So you're likely to find a lot of similarities. They don't own plastic companies. They own the formula, and they're just filling it into something else. So just to clear that up. But I love this color. It's a beautiful, like reddish brown with some gold to it. So I would totally get the Pumpkin Spice. I know this was limited edition. Trinket I really love. My three favorite from my all-time favorite liquid lipstick formula is the Dose of Colors. I love Stone, which you've seen in my swatch video. Truffle, which is in the swatch video as well. And then Kiss of Fire is one of my all-time favorite bright liquid lipsticks. indie brand Makeup Monster. This is in the color Cornucopia, which is a beautiful like burnt rusty red, orangish color. I have fallen in love with this Kat Von D, a go-go color. Again, you guys know I like my oranges and I love that color. My two favorite lip glosses, I love this Chanel. This is the 03 Glacé. This is just stunning. It's nice and thick. It doesn't leave stringy marks. Sometimes my hair can get stuck in it, but I love this just to put it over a nude lip liner for work. And then the other one I love is Bare Pink by Laura Mercier. I'm wearing this very often in videos over some of my lip pencils, which you guys like. If you guys want to see liquid lipsticks I don't like, just watch my review series. You can see my ranking on there. For lip balms, I love the Sarah Happ Lip Slip. I love the By Terry. This is the more pricier one that I have, but this is just stunning. It smells like roses, and I love this. You can get that at Beautylish. I love the Bite Agave mask. I use this when I snowboard, and I also use this before I go to bed if my lips are really dry. And then for a drugstore option, I love Aquaphor. This, I use this on my eyebrows while they're healing. I use this on tattoos while it's healing. I mean, not this specific one, but this product. This is excellent for your lips too when they're really dry and dehydrated. Let's talk about my favorite kind of a few tools. This is my Shoot More eyelash curler. This has the perfect bend in it for my shaped eyes. It doesn't pinch me. I can never use another eyelash curler. You'd think like, what kind of big difference does it make? It makes a huge difference. I love my paw palette. You can get these in a million different shapes. They used to just be on Etsy, but now I believe they're in Sephora too, or I can't remember exactly where. Maybe it's Beautylish. But these are awesome. I put my foundation on there, especially the ones I need to mix, and then I'll paint them on. You can use this to mix anything. I have a little ring finger one too that I can mix. I used to mix my lip tars on there. This may sound silly, but this is my favorite pencil sharpener. This is the Urban Decay Grindhouse. It has a large side and a small side on here. This is the only pencil sharpener I use that actually sharpens my stuff. Doesn't eat a ton of the product. Like if you're sticking, you stick gel pencils in traditional pencil sharpeners, it kind of eats a ton of the product. This is amazing. I have these little stork scissors. These are from Tweezerman. I keep these, they're linen scissors, but I use these to cut my eyelashes, which I really like. I do love my color switch. I've been using this for years. This is in essence a hair donut. You guys could buy a 99-cent hair donut and do the same thing for yourself. I personally like to have it in a little tin with the label and blah 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 because I'm weird. But this I use this every single day, and then you can take this out and rinse it out and just put it back in, and I just clean my brushes off in between when I'm using them, and I love this. Again, you can use a hair donut or anything like that. And this, you can get this. I don't like Sigma besides this, to tell you the truth. Brush cleaner. You guys can use any textured kind of matte. You can probably use a lot of like oven mitts and stuff, or I've seen some at like the little dollar store. This has made it so I don't hate cleaning my brushes. I put this on, I can clean a ton of my brushes really quickly. I can squeeze the water out, I can see everything that's coming out. I really like this, and it makes cleaning my brushes a breeze. Now let's talk about brushes. So I found two excellent, more affordable brush lines this year. This first one is by Juvia's Place. This is the makeup brush set by Aloe. They did send these to me, so I did not purchase these. Just want to let you guys know. But these are excellent quality. The hair doesn't fall out. They're not scratchy. The only one complaint that I could even find from here is that since, and again, it's just personal preference, the way I prefer to put my makeup on, since I don't use a ton of powder, I didn't need two brushes like this. Like this one I could use to set underneath my eyes, but I think these are more for like kind of bronzer and highlight and blush and all over powder, which I don't do. But otherwise, the brushes are amazing. This fan brush is amazing for blending. I actually prefer it for contour. This is great for all over powder. This was a limited edition set, and Aloe said that they weren't coming back when I asked her, but if they ever did, these would be a good buy for you. The other set from them that is amazing are these purple handle brushes. I will link these below. The liner brush, these fluffy brushes, these are synthetic, and I mean, they work really well. Same thing, no shedding from these. So Juvia's Place has really killed it this year with the brushes and the eyeshadow palettes. Next, more affordable brushes that I will be doing a full review on. I've ordered the vegan set. They sent me their rose gold ones. These are the Zoeva brushes. These brushes are excellent quality. especially for the cost. I mean, disregard the cost. They're nicely made brushes. I don't get shedding. This brush is my new favorite. This is what I use to paint on my foundation. This is the 109. I do love this 142. It says it's a concealer brush. I like it to put on my eyeshadow base. Their angled brush right here, this 317, is one of the best brushes I've ever used for eyebrow pomades, and it has a nice angle to do winged liner. I do like their fan brush, but I still like the Wayne Goss 15 one better. This one is a little more stiff. Like this 103 for patting out my concealer underneath my eyes. So I will have a full review in the near future for you guys. So I think that this set was really nice. I want to try some of their other brushes. I'm going to do some open stock, and I also ordered their vegan brushes because I want to find some really great vegan options. I can't speak to their customer service or anything yet, or shipping times, because again, those were sent to me, but once I get my order, I'll have all of that for the review. More pricier synthetic brushes that you can find at Sephora, but they are very well made, are the Kat Von D line. This is the newer one for the brightening powder underneath the eyes. I actually love this one. This is part of their Shade and Light for the contour, the dual-sided. The only thing I don't like about dual-sided brushes is I like to store my brushes in cups. So with two sides like this, I can't. It does have this little like coffin thing that it comes in though, so I keep that on top. For a concealer brush too, I really like to use this with my Clé de Peau foundation stick, or even just to get up in the corners of your eyes. I just got Keegan's niece the foundation, the large one, because she likes the Lock-It foundation, because she has oily skin, which I can't wear that because it just drives me out way too much. It feels like torture. I love this brush from Sephora for all over powder if I am doing that, and this is their 55. This is the Inglot 20T I use to contour with, that I love this. Norvina was kind enough to send me their new brushes that launched, and these are my favorite ones out of there. One thing I've noticed about their eye brushes is that their eye brushes are a little more stiff compared to like my MAC, like my 217 or my 224. But they are really nice. They actually do an excellent job of getting in there and blending. So for like transition, this is the A5 that I really like. And again, it's a little more stiff, but it actually provides a nice buff to the top of that line. This A10 I thought would be like the MAC 217, but it's a lot stiffer than that. But it's really nice to pick up product and distribute it, really move it around and blend. This is the A25, which I love to go in my crease and kind of diffuse the color that I place down. And then this is the A30, and I actually really like these to kind of like stamp in my concealer, or if you really wanted to go in there and blend out like a stick foundation, but I like this for under eyes. And these have become my two favorite new brushes to contour with, actually. After I draw on the cream with this 20T brush by Inglot, I pick up a little bit of the powder if I want to get a really sharp line, and I'll draw it on with this, and this is the A6 brush. And then I take this A7 brush and I blend it out. All of these brushes are vegan and cruelty free, so if you guys are looking for options for that, they're awesome. My three favorite MAC brushes. This is the MAC 252 that I like to use to highlight my brow bone. My MAC 224, which is perfect for laying down a base color in transition. And then the MAC 242 is what I use to pack all over shimmers or pigments all the time. The Wayne Goss brow set. I love this set. I love all three of these brushes. It's excellent. This one is perfect for pomades or powders without getting harsh lines, and these two blend them in perfectly. If you guys want more in depth about the Wayne Goss brushes, I have his entire collection, and I talk about them all and what they're good for, which ones I like and which ones I don't, in a video I will link below. This is his airbrush. That was one of the more recent brushes that I do love for days that I want light contouring too, or you could even set underneath your eyes, but I love this for contouring. Again, since I have little eyes, I like to go on with a smaller pencil brush. This is the 05 brush, and get the color up on my lash line. And then I like to go in with the 20, which is just the larger version of that, and smoke it out a little bit more. I also love his 7 for drawing on where I want really intricate detail, and then going in with a fluffier brush and blending that out. The number 2 brush I love for setting underneath my eyes. It's so soft, it doesn't scratch me. My all-time favorite brush is the 15 fan brush. This is my favorite brush for putting on highlight. It's like highlighting for dummies. It's so soft, it's so nice. Favorite blush brush is always my MAC 129 short handle. I like the short handle better because I can really flick it and I like it. And some other eye brushes I use all the time. This is my Shikihodo T7. I like to pick up color on one side of the brush and then flip that so that side with the color is facing up and go into my crease, and it'll help give me some definition on the upside. For hooded eyes, this is amazing. Love the Hakuhodo J5523 brush. This is supposed to be like a MAP 217, but way better. It really distributes the product and moves it around nicely and is nice and soft. The Hakuhodo J146 is perfect for my hooded eyes for getting some deeper color on the outside V there and blending that out into the crease because it's nice and small. This Japonesque brush is a silicone tip brush that I got from Ulta that I tightline with. It's amazing. And for that liquid liner, I love this Hakuhodo 3-0 pH. This is a synthetic brush, which is perfect for that liquid liner. If you guys are curious about like all of my favorite brushes, I'll link my favorite brush video below, but these are the brushes that I've been like absolutely loving. I also always love the IT Cosmetics, their synthetic brushes. They're so nice. They are pricey though, but you do get your money's worth. Okay, now on to eyeshadow, which is where I have the majority of my products. This video is going to be like an hour, maybe more. Today, all I have on my eyes is the new Viseart Warm Matte Palette. You guys are so thoughtful. You guys saw this the minute the picture went up, and you guys were all tagging me on it because you guys know that I love like my oranges and like rust colors and red colors, berries. This is my favorite. These are my favorite kind of colors right here. So I have this orange shade as my transition. I have this darker orange shade in my crease, and I have this reddish color all over my lid, and I highlighted my brow bone with this color right here. Viseart makes my favorite mattes on the planet. I love them. I feel like with these 4 palettes, there is nothing you cannot do. So if I had to buy them again in order of how often I would wear them, I would buy the neutral matte first because I can wear these colors all day long for work. The second one I would buy would be this warm matte palette because you can still do a lot of neutral looks, but I can also kick it up with the oranges and reds in here. Same excellent quality. Then I would buy the dark mattes, again, the oranges and reds. I mean, they're just stunning and beautiful. And then the editorial, which is all their bright colors. And I actually, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I actually just got to sit down with the owner and creator of Viseart. She was actually up in San Francisco. Her and I discussed actually doing a video together in February when she's back up in this area and I'm back in town for my travel for work. So I think it'll be really cool for you guys to hear some more background. We got to talk for like 3.5 hours. And she was telling me that this palette in particular is like all straight pure pigment, that they basically break even on the cost of this for production because it is so expensive for the pigments. Now, keep in mind too, you can mix any of these together. So you can take this white and make lighter pinks or lighter reds. You can mix all of them. I think that that's really cool. They're like artist palettes. These are expensive. They're $80 a pop. And I know that that can seem like kind of suffocating, like $80 for one palette. I do have a full breakdown on my Viseart review. The only palette that's not in there currently out of the large one is this because this just came out. But these break down to $667 per eyeshadow, which is like on par with Makeup Geek cost. You do get a lot of product in here. You just have to bite the bullet and buy them all at once. These mattes will not disappoint. And if you want to see more in-depth swatches, I will have a review for the new one. Viseart and the team at Muse did send me the warm matte palette, so thank you to them. And they also sent me this is their Petite Pro palette. If you guys follow me on Instagram, again, you saw me swatch all of these. This is stunning. They're $30 for this, and you get a third of the product that you get in this palette. And it's not quite a third of the price because that would make this $90 and this is $80. But these shimmers are a completely different formula. They're stunning. So if you want to see swatches of that, check out my Instagram. I will have a full review to follow on these. But this is nice because you can toss this right into your purse. You can see how big it is. This is awesome. They're original. They kind of had like a pressed micro glitter and some satin formulas. But again, when I like shimmer, I like in your face shimmer. And these are more in your face shimmer than their other ones I've used. Next are my ABH shadows, my individuals, the mattes. I keep them in this book. So I'm just going to, I just pulled out a few of my favorites that I'm just going to show you. Again, I will have a full ABH review with the swatches and everything, but trying to insert all of that in here would make this video super long. So this one is Soft Peach, and I lay this down every day. I've been using this as my transition color, which I love. The next ones, again, are all like orangey browns. I love Sienna. This color is stunning. Their mattes are my favorite. Morocco is gorgeous. This color is probably one of my favorites. This Blazing I use all the time. Stunning. Like Hot Chocolate, Red Earth, Beauty Mark, Fudge, and Burnt Orange. I will list those below, and again guys, I will have a full review, but I just wanted to share what I've been loving. I keep them in this, and then I have another book as well. These two palettes from ABH, this Modern Renaissance, was probably my favorite palette of the year. I love, again, these berries and oranges and rust colors. And what I love about this palette is that you can do very neutral brown eyeshadow looks, and you can even do some colors. So the range that you get in here is amazing. The formula of these mattes is amazing. I was thrilled with this palette. I hope that they come out with each shade individually. The only gripe I could have about it is I didn't like this packaging. Next one I use, and I've done a full review on, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time because it was limited edition, was the Master Palette by Mario. This is one of the easiest palettes I have for a simple, impactful look, like I mentioned in the reviews. 3 colors and I'm done. A transition, a crease, and then to pack any of these shimmers all over your lid. If you try to get too intricate with it with this formula, because these shimmers are so beautiful and soft, it's a mess. My dinner just got here, so I'm going to take a break from filming to eat, and I'll be right back. I just stuffed my face with spring rolls and veggie fried rice. Makeup held up pretty well. Next eyeshadows that I loved this year are by Colored Rain. So they originally sent me these shadows probably about 6 months ago maybe. And I kind of swatched them, but I put them in my drawer, and I'm not gonna lie, I got tied up with a bunch of things that I kind of forgot that they were there. And so I went back, and I've been playing with them again for like the past 3 months or so, and these are stunning. These deserve a full review from me, so I will be giving those. Their shimmers are amazing. I wish they had more mattes to choose from, because their mattes are amazing as well. Very pigmented, very smooth. I liked that so much, I went and bought the Queen of Hearts palette myself. It is beautiful. Again, you guys know I love all of these types of colors. A few of you have asked if this is similar to the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. Even though Ladyship looks like one in Empress, this is a brighter orange. Princess is somewhat similar to Buonfresco. There are a few in here that are kind of similar, but not really when you swatch them. Well, I think you could stand to have both of the palettes. The shimmers in here are gorgeous. This is limited edition, so if you were eyeing it, I would definitely not hesitate to get it. Guys, use search YouTubers codes, and I think you can save about $5 off with that. So I am going to do a full review with swatches of these Colored Rain shadows. They're beautiful, they're amazing, they're made in the USA, the cost is fairly low, they're a great buy. My favorite palette from Juvia's Place, which I have a full review on their colors, is this Nubian 2 palette. Again, the oranges, purples, berries, you guys know I love those, and if you want to see a full swatch, I will link it below. But for the cost, you're getting a ton of shadows, and they're well made. Zoeva sent me their brushes. They also sent me all 3 of their eyeshadow palettes they have. This one is the Blanc Fusion. This one is the Cocoa Blend, which I really like this Cocoa Blend one because, again, that color right there. And this is the Caramel one. The Caramel one is my favorite because I like this more peachy shade that I can mix with the purple and more of like a coppery, a light copper color. I like this one the best. Shadows are made in Italy. They are really nice quality. They're nice and smooth, very pigmented. Again, I owe a full review to these. That will be coming. Again, I just wanted to kind of go over which ones are my favorite for you guys that are asking. asking. I picked up this palette because I saw Tara Babies rave about it, and I think she has really good taste in makeup. So I picked this up too. This is the, I always want to say Kaite, but I think someone said it was Ciate. This is the Chloe Morello palette, the Pretty Fun and Fearless. I like, again, these purpley colors, but I find that this is an easy palette for me to toss in my bag when I'm traveling for work, and I get the browns that I can do some neutral looks and some light shimmers. I have some nice like orangey tones, and I can even kick it up to some purples. Is this going to be the most vibrant thing in your life? No, but the shadows are nice and soft. I feel like they blend well. The shimmers aren't super bright in your face, but they're perfect for work. I would recommend this palette. I think that's limited edition too, so if you want it and you see it, you should grab it. Got a few other things in the kit that come with it, so for the cost, makes sense. I love these Sugar Pill mattes. Their bright mattes are stunning. They're beautiful. Jack Meekins, Bianca, really got me into these, and I'm so glad that I listened to her because they are really nice, bright pigmented shadows and nice big pans as well. My favorite shimmer shadows are definitely the Natasha Denona. This one is Sienna right here that has a beautiful duochrome. Again, I have all these swatched in a full video on both of these palettes. I love some of the greens. I'll list some of my favorite ones below. I think the 5-pan palettes are the best bet for you guys to try them because I think they're like $48 or $50 and you get 5 colors opposed to having to buy them individually. I have found that I love more of like these rust colors, purple, pinks. I like the duochrome ones that have shift to them a lot. Now in those first 2 lunches, I didn't really care for Natasha's mattes. I mean, they were okay, but I don't think it justified the price tag that was on them. Those shadows are huge. They're bigger than Makeup Forever shadows. So when you're looking at the cost breakdown, Makeup Forever shadows are $21 each. This is Natasha's new Star palette. Now, I bought those other 2 palettes. This one they sent to me. Matte formulas in here are amazing. They are very, very nice. I like these, the berry shades, of course. The brown is really nice. Shimmers in here are nice as well, but for me, the fail are these new Chroma crystals. It gives a beautiful editorial look on the eyelid with some texture and sheen to it, but in real life I end up with glitter all over my cheeks, so I don't care for those. I would never buy those again individually. When I watched her makeup tutorial on YouTube on it, which I will link below, what she came out with was stunning, but for me, it's not really possible. I will have a full review on this. So again, I would pick up the mattes in here. I would forego the mattes in the other palette if you were buying them individually. The chromas were a fail for me. And some of these metallics in here are really pretty, but I prefer the larger pan palettes better. I bought the Blackest Black, which is her matte eyeshadow in a large pan like this. And this is the one of the Blackest Blacks I've ever used. This is an amazing eyeshadow for smoky eyes. Other Blackest Black I've ever used is Dark Matter from the Dark Matter stack from Melt. My 2 favorite of their stacks is Dark Matter and then the Lovesick. I use this Lovesick all the time for some cool looks. So those are my favorite eyeshadows. Let's talk about the ones that I think were the worst of the year, which I know if you guys watch my videos, you probably think I'm super negative. I do have lots of things I love, and I request what you guys ask me to. You guys asked me to review the Too Faced Chocolate Chip Palette. Let me just say this right now. I can officially say pretty much anything from Too Faced at this point is a complete fail for me. Hype and not about quality at all. This Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, I have a full review on. The formula was okay, but these colors were just bland. Like when I think of a peach palette, I wouldn't think of these colors. I find a lot of them can be, the smell of this makes me sick, so I'm gonna shut this. I just don't care for this palette. It was a complete miss for me, and again, I think they focused more so on the packaging instead of the product inside. That's winning its spot as one of the worst palettes on the year due to the hype that it got. I was thinking this is gonna be amazing, and it was terrible. Next one, you guys have seen my review on this likely, the Too Faced Power of Makeup. This was, I mean, you guys asked me to review the chocolate chip palette. A lot of you guys were commenting on the size of this. I mean, this is a little bigger than a credit card. It's smaller than my phone. You guys take a look. This palette is just not good. I understand the idea. It's called chocolate chip. When I think of a chocolate chip, I think of something kind of small. So the size wasn't what concerned me. These mattes have zero color payoff. Some of these shimmers can be kind of pretty, but it's like just a light sheen and they all look the same, even though some of them have color. Complete miss for me again. I don't know what their business strategy is, but they recently just sold to Estee Lauder. And in my mind, I feel like they just really beefed up their books this year, coming out with a ton of collaborations and a ton of gimmicky products just to make their sales skyrocket. So their books were more appealing. And I feel like it's the consumer that's really suffered through that. I mean, if you could call purchasing makeup suffering. But you know what I mean. I just feel like I think Too Faced and I need to break up and see other people. I don't think I'll be buying. The Too Faced Born This Way foundation was nice. Their Chocolate Soleil bronzer is nice. I like their Hangover RX primer, but otherwise, like, their makeup has just been a complete miss for me lately. Next palette I thought was really bad was the Tarte, the Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette. I have a whole review on that. I really love Bunny. Those shadows were just kind of chunky, glittery mess, tons of fallout, and the glitter would kind of blend away and go onto your cheeks. The bronzer was way too orange for me. The highlight was very chunky. The blush had glitter in it as well. There were a couple colors in here that were okay, but for the cost, I don't like. I feel like anything Smashbox eyeshadows. I have not liked any Smashbox eyeshadows I've ever tried. This is the Double Exposure palette. I picked this up because I liked a lot of the colors in here, but I just don't care for their eyeshadows, I've come to find, so I don't think I'll be purchasing anymore. If you guys saw my review on the Huda Beauty palette, I really respect Huda. I like her. This was a complete miss for me. The reviews on this are so polarizing as well. If you look on Sephora, now keep in mind, every single online retailer filters their reviews. If you think that they don't, they 100% do. A lot of times it's because people can go in there and give a review like, oh, this isn't in stock, 1 star. And so they'll take those out, but they also will stop putting through if there's like 1,000 negative comments. Obviously they want it to sell, so they're gonna kind of filter some of those out and let a few slip in. So on this palette, you can see that there are either 1-star reviews or 5-star reviews. I feel like that's very fitting for what I've seen online. Either people give this like 5-star best palette of the year, or people are really not liking it. For me, this was a complete mess. I liked these 3 last matte shades, and these other ones had to be used with your finger, were pretty if you could get them on, but some of them were really thick and chunky. It just wasn't very complimentary to my eyes or my skill set. I don't know. And so while I really love Huda, this was a no-go for me. For hair products, I always come back to this Alterna CC cream. It's like a 10-in-1. It's kind of like it's a 10. You guys have heard me talk about almost all of these products that I like in my Sephora buying guide or in any of my favorite videos because they remain pretty much the same. 2 perfumes that I have absolutely loved this year. These are both by Creed, and I actually like to mix these. This is meant to be like a men's fragrance, but I wear men's deodorant because I like the smell of it better, and I love this perfume. This has kind of like has a bit of like an evergreen smell to it. Ventus, and then this one is Silver Mountain Water, which I actually like to do a spray of this one and a spray of this one together to mix them, and oh, it smells so good. The last few things are my skincare related. You guys know I love my Shiseido facial cottons that are behind me. That's a must. I love the Emma Hardy cleansing balm. That was from my nighttime skincare routine that went up. I love this Core's Greek yogurt wash, was really nice. Of course, this is always in my favorites always, is my Clarisonic. My Belief True Cream moisturizing balm and my fresh oil. Again, all of this stuff I go into deeper into my skincare video. Sunday Riley Good Jeans, love this, and my Sunday Riley Juno oil. And one last thing I love is I do love the MAC Fix Plus. I just kind of go over my face after I put my highlighter on to kind of like get it a little wet so it all kind of meshes together. I know I was going kind of fast because I had so many things that I wanted to cover. So again, I will be doing independent reviews for some of these products that I've been loving. I just haven't had the time yet, so thank you for bearing with me. I leave on Thursday morning for my trade show in Las Vegas. We have the Western Buying Conference, which is a beauty convention for manufacturers to distributors. So I will be there until the 17th. I come home for one day and then I head down to LA for the Pixie launch party. I get to meet Caroline finally. The launch party for Caroline's Double Cleanse. So I'm very excited to meet her and go down there for that. And then we'll be back home, I think, on the 20th at night or so. So I will have more time to film. Next video I want to do after this is the Colored Rain review, so I can do swatches and everything up close. I would love to hear what some of your guys' favorites and fails for the year are. Again, this is not saying that any of these are like bad products. They just didn't work for me. Everybody has different tastes and opinions, and some of the things that I love, I know some people hate, and vice versa. If I swatched every single thing I talked about, I would be here like out of Africa length movie. It would be ridiculously long. So I am going to dive deeper into some of these things that I love that I haven't had a chance to review yet, so you guys can see the way I swatch and all of that stuff. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.